Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story takes us into a forest where silence is more dangerous than sound, and the full moon reveals what was never meant to be seen. This is Moonlight in the Silent Pines. Turn off the lights and let's begin. The Silent Pines forest had its name for a reason. Birds never sang there, and the wind never seemed to touch its trees. But on nights of the full moon, people said the silence broke, replaced by something far worse. Lena had grown up hearing the stories. They said that on certain nights, if you stepped into the forest under the moonlight, the trees would move, and the forest would swallow you whole. But she didn't believe it, at least, not until the night she decided to prove everyone wrong. The air was cold when she entered, her boots crunching softly on the frost-covered ground. The moon hung above the treetops, too large, too bright, painting the forest silver. The shadows stretched unnaturally long, as if the trees themselves leaned closer to watch her. At first, nothing happened. The forest was just quiet. No animals, no wind, only the sound of her own footsteps. She told herself it was fine, just an ordinary forest. Then she noticed something strange. Every time she glanced behind her, the path looked different. The trees seemed to shift, their trunks bending at angles they hadn't before. What had been a straight trail now curled like a spiral. Her heartbeat quickened. She pressed on, gripping her flashlight. The silence deepened, pressing against her ears like water. And then, faintly, she heard it. A hum. Low, distant, like a song carried on the air. She followed it, drawn deeper into the woods. The trees grew taller, their branches blotting out the stars, leaving only the moon above. The hum grew louder, turning into a chant. And then she saw it. A clearing. At its center stood a stone circle, half buried and cracked with age. And within the circle, bathed in moonlight, stood figures. They looked human at first, tall, cloaked in shadows. But when Lena raised her flashlight, her breath caught. Their faces were pale, stretched thin, with empty holes where their eyes should be. Their mouths moved in unison, chanting in that low, endless hum. Her beam swept across them, and they all turned toward her at once. The chant stopped. The silence hit like a physical weight. Then, one by one, the figures stepped out of the circle. Their bodies moved stiffly, as though bones cracked with every step. Their eyeless faces lifted toward the moon, then back to her. Lena stumbled back, flashlight shaking. "Stay away," she whispered, though her voice cracked. But the figures didn't stop. The trees shifted again, closing in, their branches curling down like fingers. The clearing shrank, the forest pressing closer. She turned to run, but the path behind her was gone. Only trees, endless and black. The chanting started again, louder now, echoing inside her skull. The figures circled her, their mouths stretching impossibly wide. From within their throats came not words, but the sound of the wind. A wind that hadn't touched the forest until now. Her flashlight flickered and died. The moon was the only light left, burning silver. In its glow, the figures grew taller, their shadows stretching, their mouths opening wider, until their jaws split, showing endless darkness inside. The chanting became a scream. The trees bent low, their branches wrapping around her arms and legs, pulling her toward the stone circle. She fought, kicking, clawing, but the forest itself held her tight. As she was dragged into the circle, she realized the stones weren't stones at all. They were grave markers, old, covered in moss, and each one bore the same name, her own. Her scream joined the chanting, as the moon swallowed the clearing in light. By dawn, the forest was silent again. The clearing was empty, the stones still broken, the ground undisturbed. But if you step into silent pines on the night of the full moon, you can still hear it, a faint hum growing louder, until the silence finally takes you to. That was Moonlight in the silent pines. Some forests are quiet for a reason. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, silence doesn't always mean you're alone.